What's up, Vetters? Patrick here with Vetted. Today we're talking about this.
The idea you're having is that they were examining the instantaneous motion, not just the incredible shoot away, but then that move to the right was the actual instantaneous motion.
All right, Vetters, please hit that like button. That really helps out the videos. And of course, if you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. All right, so what's today's video about? Well, it's about a lot, actually. We're going to be covering 3 UFO videos, or as they're being described now, UAP, which, whatever. Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp just released a brand new video, okay, that everyone is talking about because allegedly it shows a UFO being filmed by an MQ-9 Reaper drone in 2021 in Syria that shows instant acceleration, right? One of the observables, famous observables that they talk about. We're also going to be talking about the other recent video that Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp just released just a few days ago that was recorded in 2012, also by an MQ-9 Reaper drone, the triangle formation. And we're also going to be going back even further to the UAP hearing in September of 2025, where George Knapp coincidentally testified, where they also showed an MQ-9 Reaper drone UFO video, the famous Hellfire video, right? Where the allegedly this UFO got hit by a missile and continued on. The missile bounced off of it, right? We're going to be taking a closer look at that, and not just a closer look at the video of the Hellfire missile, but more importantly, the origin. Where did that video come from? And I may be able to connect all of these videos together, actually, because as I made this video and was looking into things as usual, just some interesting coincidences started to pop up. So let's jump into this, y'all. First, we're going to be taking a look at this brand new video because that's what I know some of you want to see right away. This brand new, again, MQ-9 Reaper drone filmed in Syria 2021 showing allegedly instant acceleration. Now, on Weaponized, where they showed the video, they showed it several different ways. So I'm just going to show all of that. The moment that everyone's talking about is seconds long, right? But there's many ways to kind of look at this. So without further ado, let's just jump in and take a look at this brand new UFO video that, if this is instant acceleration, this would be one of the things that people have asked for. Now, again, this video has 0 sound, so I'm going to be adding just a little bit of background music to help, carry this along. So don't be alarmed. If you want to see it without the music, just hit the mute button or go watch it on the Weaponized podcast. There's always links in the description to all the sources that I use. All right, so at first glance, it's kind of interesting. I mean, when you're watching just the original footage, it's not sped up, it's not anything. It's just kind of like, what? Just looks like it flies away, right? But then when they slow it down, you see this thing kind of move to the side, right? And that's what everyone's focused on. Oh my God, look at that thing. It just vanished. It just zipped away. Holy cow, how could it move that fast? Well, first of all, no one has actually even determined how fast that is, if that's what's happening. Right? Because you could see the sensor platforms change, right? You can see it like it just, the platform doesn't change, pardon me, but whatever part of the platform they're using, it changes. So right in that moment. So I don't know, is that just from switching to something else, right? That the operator that's running the MQ-9 is just switching to something else and makes it seem like that. That's the thing with this stuff. You never know, does it seem like that or is that what's happening? Right? So, for example, I used laser sights to film my psionics documentary this past summer, right? To point things out in the sky, right? But the movement is exaggerated in the sky from what's happening down below at my hand. So, for instance, if I am shining a light over here and then I go like this, in the sky, it looks like this light just moves instantaneously from one side of the sky to the other, right? I mean, hundreds of feet, more, half a mile. I mean, you can make it move just zoop, zoop, you know, and it seems, right, that it's moving at this instant acceleration speed, when in reality, it's not, right? Just my hand moving, right? But it's all about perception. So is that what's happening here? Now, on the Weaponized podcast, they did have someone talking about the video. I don't know how much of an image analyst they are, expert or whatever, but I would say you need more than one. You need a lot of people to look at this thing, you know, to figure it out. And again, it's always good to have multi-sensor sightings, right? One sensor, it's not enough, right? It's good. We want things. I mean, I think people are just dying for anything that comes, you know, just let me hold on to that. I'm okay not, you know, it's like, I'm not that starving. You know, when you're starving, you're just like, anything will do, right? Oh, this is delicious. That's where I think the UFO community is at. We haven't eaten in a long time, right? We've been starving in the desert. This is our first meal. So you can literally give us a brick of bread. And we're just like, oh yeah. But I'm not, I'm doing good. So I'll wait for the next course. Right. But whatever, happy they put it out. And we'll see what fruit falls from the tree on this, right? Because that's usually their MO, to put this stuff out, see if they can get any other information on it and kind of go with it. But let's hear what Jeremy kind of also said, what he thinks about the video.
Man, when I first saw it, right? I mean, of course, I have some background on it, but I thought the instantaneous motion was when it started going away, what looked like away from the camera. And that was so impressive. And then that little thing to the right, I was like, no way. They had to move the camera, just being all that thing moved away. But the idea you're having is that they were examining the instantaneous motion, not just the incredible shoot away, but then that move to the right was the actual instantaneous motion.
And so look, I'm going to put a link down below to the full Weaponized podcast, because they spend the whole video talking about this, this video in particular, this UFO video. And if you want to hear all the different comments and everything they made about it, feel free to go check that out. But let's move on. But before we do that, y'all, I got to keep the mics on. All right, betters, I have to talk to you guys about a brand new show that's coming out. All right, it's absolutely amazing. It's called The Pendragon Cycle, Rise of the Merlin. It's available on Daily Wire Plus. Okay, it's a 7-part series. Honestly, this show is amazing. Very cinematic in scope. Okay, these like huge battles, the period piece, sort of all the authentic like wardrobes and sets, and it's like shot on location. I think they shot across multiple different countries. It feels so real. You really do feel immersed in this show. I have to admit, I was kind of blown away by this. I was not expecting it. It's about Merlin, right, the wizard, and there's just some great like effect shots and real practical effects too, which is really, really cool. And it just looks amazing, right? Like it looks like, oh man, okay, this is a real show. It's a 7-part series. It's available on Daily Wire Plus right now. I'll put a link in the description. Go check it out. Let me know what you think. I highly recommend it. It's a really, really good show. All right, now let's move into really what I would say is the main part of the video. I am going to be covering other things later on in the video, but this is the main bulk of it, and it's the Hellfire video that got released last September, okay, at the UAP hearing, where again George Knapp testified, coincidentally, right? And again, this video was also allegedly from an MQ-9 Reaper drone, right? So let's just rewind. Let's go back to the September hearing, where Representative Eric Burleson played this video for the first time for the world.
I want to cue up a video that I've been given. And as before it starts, I'm going to describe, this was taken October 30th of 2024. This video is of an MQ-9 drone tracking an orb, or this object, off the coast of Yemen. You'll see that another MQ-9 launched a Hellfire missile. That you cannot see that drone. And so I'm not going to explain it to you. You'll see exactly what it does.
And again, at first glance, you're like, oh my God, this thing, that missile just bounced off of this thing. This is crazy. This is what we wanted. It happened, guys. We got it. Disclosure. This is it. Smoking gun, right? But there were definitely a lot of people not really impressed with this video. And honestly, people that I wasn't expecting to come forward and kind of, quote, shoot it down, no pun intended. Specifically, Chris Leto, who is a former fighter pilot for the U.S. military, and who is not a skeptic at all, right? He is full-blown believer into all of this, and great guy. I've interviewed him on the show. He immediately called it a balloon. Sorry, the new Hellfire missile UAP video is obviously a balloon. We should be talking about the Jackson Tic Tac or Borland sightings or the USSR UFO investigations. Instead, we're talking about balloons again. So again, he clearly was not impressed with that. And again, a lot of people thought the Hellfire video just totally drowned out, I should say, drowned out everything else that happened at that UFO hearing, right? Nobody was talking about anything else except that video. And if you search the hearing, that's all that came up. Hellfire, 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 right? Hellfire. it's like it was more like an ad for the Hellfire missile more than anything, right? Not even the UFO video, but that's all people were talking about. So I think that was a lot of people's frustrations. But again, to see someone like Chris Leto just come out and say he thought it was blue, I thought that was interesting, but I also thought it was pretty genuine because there was a lot of people that actually thought that. Now, people, I don't think it was anything in particular exciting. I don't think it showed anything anomalous or alien or UFO. Again, we're here to talk about aliens, right? People try to bring in these other things into the topic, you know, unidentified. Okay, that doesn't mean aliens, right? I want to talk about aliens, but regardless, right? They showed this unidentified craft, right? That doesn't, even if a missile bounced off it, why are we saying that's alien, right? Again, that was a hearing for aliens, that the government is hiding aliens, an alien craft. Why are we showing that video, right? And Representative Luna, however, was quite adamant it was not balloons. She was there at the hearing. She helped head it up.
The information that we released from our last hearing, actually, Representative Burleson released it. It was a piece of footage that was dead dropped to him. And you can look at that, and that's pretty wild. You have a Hellfire missile hit one of these things, and it deflects it. That's not a balloon. That's not a balloon.
Who filmed that? How did that get filmed? Was that radar on a plane or something? Or what?
Yeah. It was from MQ-9. So
what's that in English?
Here, we'll Google it for the viewers. It's a surveillance.
Okay. A drone?
Well.
Okay. Yeah. MQ-9.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Yep. That's our drones. AKA the Reaper is its common term.
Okay.
But it was some surveillance footage. Before. But you can pull that up, and a lot of people were like,
find the video of it, Steve.
Yeah, so like even right before hearing, we had the former director of Arrow, Sean Kilpatrick. The guy's a total clown. Yeah. But he was attacking our witnesses. You know, why is he even involved in what Congress is saying or doing when he's like a documented liar? So yeah, we kind of proved him right with the hearing. That was good.
So
proved him right in the fact that, you know, or proved him wrong in the sense that he has been gaslighting the American people.
Right.
And, you know, you heard her just say that, you know, how Eric Burleson got that video. Okay. So more on that later, because that is what's really important, if you ask me. Now, even Luisa Elizondo, our favorite fake UFO shower / UFO expert. Yep. Same person. Also came out talking about it. Of course, they had to interview him about this Hellfire video, and this is what he said.
We've never seen a Hellfire missile hit a target and bounce off.
Lou Elizondo is a former senior intelligence officer with the Pentagon.
When a Hellfire makes a hit, a kinetic strike on something solid, there's usually not much left of whatever it is it's hitting. It's very, very destructive. What seems to happen is that the missile is either redirected, or in some case perhaps glances off the object and continues on its way.
First of all, how does he know what we've seen and haven't seen? The entire U.S. military, right? And every interaction that's ever happened. How would he know that? He wouldn't. Right. There's probably more reasons, but the reasons I can think of that he would say that is, one, he's making it up, right? Talking out his ass, right? Which he has shown to do before. Two, he was told to say that, right? Three, he asked some friends, some insider friends about it. But again, how would they know all of that, right? They wouldn't. Right? Because things are, as the UFO community puts it, and UFO celebrities put it, even Luis Elizondo, things are stovepiped. So not any one person knows everything. So they wouldn't know. Luis Elizondo would not know, even if someone told him, even if he made it up, even if he was told to say that, right? There's no way to know that we don't have anything capable of this, or that this has never happened before, period. So again, no matter how he got the information, or if he just made it up, he's talking out his ass, right? And of course, people just ate that up because he's, quote, a UFO expert. But that's neither here nor there. Let's move on.
All right, let's get back to GOP Congressman Eric Burlison, because he played the video that appears to show a U.S. military Hellfire missile bouncing off a bright, shiny object off the coast of Yemen last October. Burlison says he's not speculating on what the object is, but he says he wants transparency. Senior Pentagon reporter Louis Martinez joining me now. Okay, what are we hearing from the Pentagon? What is this? Do tell.
Well, Kara, this is obviously something that is of great importance here at the Pentagon, because the Pentagon is concerned about the safety of its military personnel. And so what it does is it regularly investigates any incidents regarding reports of UFOs, or UAPs as they're now called. And so obviously this was something that was taken seriously. When I asked officials yesterday for any comment about the release of this video, the scenario, it took place off the coast of Yemen in last October, all I got as an answer was, we have nothing for you. That is kind of a typical answer that you get when they don't want to discuss something, but at the same time, it also implies that they're probably looking into how this video was released.
And there it is, how this video got out, right? Because that's what I'm so curious about, and people just glossed over that. He showed the video, people were excited about the video, but no one was asking, how did you get this video? Representative Eric Burlison, who gave it to you? Why would you just spring it on everyone in the hearing? Because no one knew about it, right? But actually they did, and we'll get to that in a second. That information didn't come out till later, but initially it was just everyone was excited about the video. No one was talking about how the video came out, right? But after the hearing, some information did come out of exactly how Representative Eric Burlison got that video.
Tell me what we saw.
Yeah, it's a remarkable video. I received it anonymously with what it's in a way in which I've learned is called a dead drop. The video was scrubbed from all information, so and that's why I'm saying.
What's a dead drop? Hold on one second. What's a dead drop?
Completely anonymously. There's nothing to trace back to, and I have no idea who gave it to me. So I decided I could either sit on it and try to spend time. I don't have the resources to do forensic on video. And so either I could sit on it, but look, I'm a disclosure guy. I'm just going to let the internet figure out the validity of this video. And so that's kind of the posture that I took.
Dead drop. What? Right? A dead drop is an anonymous way to give people information, videos, files, things like that. I mean, we're literally talking, it could be a file folder, just like you see in the movie, a file folder in the bush that you meet at the park, right? And you go pick it up and you drop your keys, but then you reach under the bush and grab this file out, right? It's dead drop to you, maybe in a parking lot somewhere, maybe all kinds of things, right? But you initially have to be contacted in order for that dead drop to be, to happen. Someone, right? There has to be someone to do it, right? So he's given the video anonymously and decides, I'm just going to show it at this hearing. What? What? Right? Does that make any sense? Why does this stuff keep happening? People don't vet anything before they show it at these functions, when allegedly we have way more information and testimony and places and people and things and information. And again, that completely overshadowed everything that got said at the UFO hearing, right? But so Eric Burlison gets this video, and then he actually does vet it, and we'll get to that in a second. But here are some more things that he said directly after the hearing about that video that I find very interesting.
We just saw one of the videos. It was actually introduced by Congressman Eric Burlison into the record. So Congressman Burlison's here. Thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here.
We're going to show the video that you just played. And just to be clear, this is video that has never been showed publicly until just now, correct?
That's right. It hasn't been shown publicly. And look, I'm going to create a caveat here. I'm not an expert in video footage. I don't have the forensic abilities to determine that this is accurate. And so I want to say that, But that being said, the way in which that this was given to me was pretty clandestine and almost was like a Tom Clancy novel, anonymously given to me. And I think it's remarkable footage.
So let me see if I understand correctly. It was given to him clandestine, like, right, again, out of a Tom Clancy novel. And he's not an expert on it in any way. He can't, verify the validity or veracity of it. But let's show it at the UFO here. Does that make any sense to you? Right? Does that make any sense to you? And I like Eric Burleson. He's from the Show Me State, Missouri, where my father's side of the family is from. Shout out St. Louis, baby. But again, what? Right? I think what got him excited is he was given an anonymous. How does that add any validity to it? That should be a red flag, right? That should be a huge red flag. And what other information? Did they just give him the video? Was there a note attached that said, hey, it's XYZ, a report, something, or just a video? Was it on a DVD? Was it on a flash drive? Was it on a, piece of paper with a link that he went and downloaded? I mean, how, right? Again, that is a red flag. And I think I might know who dead dropped that video to him. But more on that in a second. So look, all these videos are about the MQ-9 Reaper drone, right? And it's this right here. As you can see, it's basically a huge drone, actually, okay? Huge mini plane, probably the size of a Cessna, right? But it's not piloted by a human being. It's actually piloted remotely, right? Almost like a video game, to be honest with you. And all these videos that I mentioned today, right? The Syria video that got released just the other day that we showed at the very beginning, this Hellfire missile video, and that triangular formation video that got released just a few days ago as well, all filmed by this same MQ-9 Reaper drone, and all took place in the Middle East. Just some interesting coincidences. The funny thing is that, especially the Hellfire missile, they said it bounced off the object and kept going. Well, there's actually a couple different types of Hellfire missiles, and I got a lot of flack when that originally came out, and I made a video that I thought that it was a particular type of Hellfire missile called the Ninja. And it didn't have a payload, right? Meaning it didn't have explosives on it. It had these like Ginsu swords that sort of came out and would slice things up rather than explode, right? Because people kept saying in the Hellfire video, oh, it shot and it didn't explode. It just bounced off of this thing, right? And I'm thinking, well, I think that's the Hellfire, right? Ninja, if it is that particular type of missile. Here's a video of a Hellfire missile being used, right, in real time. This is some security camera footage that you can see. This was also filmed in the Middle East, and you can see how destructive, regardless of the Hellfire missile, how destructive these things are. Now you see, that was one of the Ninja ones, right? Because it didn't explode the car, and you can hear the pop, 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 pop. Because as it's flying down, it shoots off the little swords, right? As it comes in. And it can be so direct. It can fly into a car full of people and only kill the one person you want it to, and everyone else survives, right? It's very specific. So if it did hit something, and it could keep going, right? So regardless, I don't even know if this is that important, but I just thought it was interesting to sort of bring it up and to kind of give you a clue of what these Hellfire missiles can do. And the fire you see from that is probably from the gas tank, or, I don't know, actually, to be honest with you, what all of that is, but just the destructiveness that a Hellfire can be. Clearly saw the car go by, or the SUV, and it didn't explode. It kept driving, right? After it was hit by a Hellfire missile, it kept going. The object can still keep going, because that's what people were pointing to in the Hellfire video. The object still keeps flying after it was hit. It didn't even hurt it, even though you see pieces fly off of this thing, right? And then people, no, those are 3 orbs flying off. What the hell, you know? So I don't know, just coincidences, interesting facts, details. But now let's get to who potentially put this video out, right? This Hellfire. Who dead dropped this video to Eric Burleson? The other day I was on Twitter and people were talking about the triangle formation UFO, right? Which was interesting, and I covered it on the channel as well. But people were asking Grok, hey, how does this compare to the Hellfire missile that got released? And Grok's answer, I was like, wait, what? This don't make any sense. Check this out. Corbell's UAP video from 2025 hearing features a main orb hit by a Hellfire missile that bounces off. Then 3 smaller orbs trail it, demonstrating extreme durability. No bird could survive. What? First of all, orbs. Grog's talking about orbs. Nobody said that, but it described it as Corbell's UAP video. But wait a second. Corbell's not even involved, right? Burleson released that and he got it dead dropped to him. Why is Grok assuming it's Corbell's video? So I asked Grok, why do you think the UAP video from 2025 hearing is Corbell's? I associate it with Corbell due to his key role in UAP disclosures, including helping organize the 2025 hearing witnesses and providing breakdowns of the footage in interviews. Example, TMZ. While not his exclusive release, he's been a prominent advocate for its transparency. Okay, so Grok kind of backpedals, which again is another example of you got to be careful with AI. You really do. You see, it called it Corbell's video, but then when I push further, well, I just associate it with it because XYZ. Well, wait, dude, that's Grok. You can't do that, my boy. Okay, that's confusing to people, especially people like me who hang on every little nuance, right? Maybe annoyingly so sometimes, and I get it. But you know, what's the saying? Devil's in the details. And in this case, the devil's in the comments. But it got me thinking. First of all, I don't remember a TMZ interview. And second, could this be Corbell's video? Right? Could Jeremy Corbell put this out? I mean, it's so similar to videos he's put out before, right? The video that just got released and the triangle formation UFO video, all MQ-9 Reaper drone videos, all in the Middle East. Or is the source that gives Corbell the videos the same source that gives Burleson the video that dead dropped it to him, right? But what's interesting is after Burleson got this video dead dropped to him, okay, apparently he did get some help to figure out, you know, vet the video. And guess who he asked? Yeah, Jeremy Corbell.
Walk us through this. What is this? And am I right that it seems to blow apart and then reassemble? That's at least the way I see it.
First of all, this was another historic UAP hearing. We had some great witnesses, including George Knapp. And what's interesting about this is George Knapp and I were able to authenticate this video because we had reported on it before. We had talked about UAP and attempted shoot downs of UAP. This is a famous UAP video within classified servers. And yes, it got put in for the American public to see through Representative Eric Burleson. I am so happy to see this because this is footage that I didn't know if the public was ever going to be able to see, but George and I did report on it. So what you're seeing is October 30th, 2024. It's a Reaper drone footage and in the area off the coast of Yemen. And there was a shoot down order. And like a lot of these shoot down orders against UAP, although now we have visual evidence of it, is that it was ineffective. It was our weapons were ineffective against it. And the most notable part about this video is that the objects detached from the UAP. And that's what was reported in all of the reports that I was exposed to internally. The objects detached from the UAP and continued flight. So I'm just astounded that they got this visual evidence in a congressional hearing. George Knapp and I have tried multiple times in the hearings to provide new footage to the public through that medium. But the Congress people were able to do it. Representative Luna ran a great hearing. And, you know, each of the witnesses were so powerful today. We had a true whistleblower in Dylan Borland. He was a true whistleblower. We had Jeffrey, who was a Air Force. We just had some excellent witnesses, and George Knapp really brought it all together. And George Knapp named names when they're talking about who's hiding these technologies, where are they located. George Knapp, he was authorized by the sources he had to tell where some of this non-human technology was being stored and how it was trying to be transferred. And he named
Did he name Area 51?
Area 51 is always suspect, Harvey, but he actually identified Lockheed very clearly on congressional record this time as trying to move some of these exotic machinery not made by man over to another program called OSAP. So my point is, on congressional record, George got to name names, people hiding this stuff, and also where it's stashed. And so that's a huge win.
You see, he was asked about the video behind the scenes before the video was played at the hearing. So it actually wasn't such a surprise, and it was the first time it was played publicly, but wasn't the first time it was played, right, behind the scenes before it got released to the public, quote, right? But it was played for Corbell. And why would Eric Burleson go to Corbell? Corbell readily admits he's not a UFO, he's not a video expert or an image analyst or anything. So why take it to him? Just interesting is all I'm saying, right? Now you might be thinking, but Patrick, if he's the one that dead dropped to him, why would Burleson then go to him? Burleson might have thought he dead dropped to him and wanted some more information. Did Corbell use other sources he has to try to look at this video? And why would a city congressman go to a private citizen? He's a congressman. Get the military involved, right? Does that make any sense to you? And nothing against Corbell. I'm just saying, right? How does this make any sense, right? Maybe Corbell did dead drop it to him. I still think that's a strong possibility. Because you see, him and George Knapp have known about this video and this story before for a long time. And apparently, they had already seen either a screenshot or knew about this video. It's even talked about in that same hearing.
Mr. Knapp, have you heard about events like this occurring? And what information might you have?
I have heard about events like this. I have heard about this event. Jeremy Corbell and I talked about it in one of our episodes a while back. We did not have the video, though. There are servers where there's a whole bank of these kind of videos that Congress has not been allowed to see, that the public hasn't been allowed to see. Occasionally, some of that stuff gets out in the wild and it comes our way. It should be going to you. The public should be seeing this stuff. And why you're not allowed to, I don't know. But that's a Hellfire missile smacking into that UFO and just bounced right off. And it kept going.
It kept going, and it looks like the debris was taken with it.
Yeah. What the hell is that?
So
flies like that?
Again, I'm not going to speculate what it is, but the question is, why are we being blocked from this information?
And on top of that, there was kind of a flub at the very beginning of the 2025 UFO hearing where Representative Luna interrupt George Knapp's opening statement to be like, don't you have a video you're going to play? George's like, what? Not my, even Jeremy leans in, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of interesting. Now, I know they were talking about the Alexander Wiggins video that they were going to play, but still, was that just like a Freudian slip there?
Mr. Knapp, just in the name of time,
Sure.
To my understanding, did you have anything you wanted to submit for Congress to see in this committee?
I have submitted those documents.
Would you like to play any videos? Do you have a video that you would like to play?
I don't think it's for me to play.
No, that was for Alexander.
And remember that clip of Luna and George Knapp that I just showed you, because that's going to be coming back around full circle later in the video. So again, after the triangle formation video came out just a few days ago, people were already comparing that to the Hellfire, right? Because the triangle formation video allegedly showed, it looks like what looks to be like a triangle UFO, but you see the lights moving around and this and that. And again, people were just comparing the two. And then Astral, and again, another friend on Twitter there, put out another video of a triangle formation UFO that moved just like the one Jeremy Corbell released, of individual lights move around. And, you're kind of like, whoa, this is crazy. And now let's take a look at these videos side by side, right? The one Jeremy Corbell released and the one that Astral put out on Twitter. I mean, they look identical. They even make the same movements if you watch them closely, right? Both videos. I'll put links down below so you can check this out. But guess what? And I'm sorry, I should have told you this earlier. The night vision one, the green video, those are birds flying in formation and they move around. It looks identical because I think that triangle formation video is just birds, right? And I know I'm gonna get a ton of hate for that, but didn't those videos look the same? Before I told you anything, you probably were saying, oh my God, they do look identical. And you know, but now you find out one's birds. I'm just saying they do look identical, and birds do that. They fly in this triangle formation, and then they'll switch, you know, who's in front, who's in the lead, who's on the side. It literally perform identically if you watch both videos in full, right? Again, links in the description, right? Now, people are going to say, this, how are you going to be birds, Patrick? It's crazy. Even Jeremy Corbell professed in the video when they released it that anyone that said that was crazy and it's stupid. And the US military doesn't know what birds look like, right? They designated that video as UAP. Come on now, Patrick, right? Well, as I pointed out in the video when it came out, just because they designated UAP doesn't mean anything. The question you have to ask is, how much time did they spend on that investigation? Was it one afternoon? And somebody's, well, I don't know what that is. Put that UAP file. I probably got thousands of those, right? We can't actually identify it. We think it's this, we think it's, but they'll just put UAP, right? Or did they spend 2 long years with hundreds of people involved in trying to investigate, and then they still were left with its UAP? That's a big difference, isn't it? Isn't that a big difference? But see, we don't know that information, and we don't get that kind of information. We're just supposed to, again, we're starving in the desert, we're given some food, and it's the best thing we ever tasted, right? And these are the kind of questions we should be asking. More about the origin, where the video comes from, and you know, how long was the investigation of that video? Not just a final report of what it says or how it was designated by the US military. Those things don't mean anything without context. It's all about context, right? And anything that doesn't have multi-sensor, you know, data is really hard to take seriously, okay? And then you have to wonder, was that Hellfire missile actually just balloons and this instant acceleration video? You know what I mean? Does this really mean anything? And when people say we got UAP videos and we got thousands of them, we got a whole database, again, that doesn't mean anything. The military could just designate something UAP, but again, saw 2 seconds, designate UAP, put that on the report and move on. Again, you have to ask, how long was it investigated and still determined to be a UFO? That would add some prevalence. If you told me that that Hellfire missile, they spent years investigating and they couldn't figure it out, blah, blah, I'm in, right? Even the triangle formation one, we spent years, hundreds of people, image analysts, optical analysts, video analysts. We still think it's a UAP. Do you see what I'm saying? But see, Jeremy and George put out these videos and the internet goes to work on them. They're the real analysts, and people come up with some reasonable prosaic explanations. And we should all be trying to debunk those videos first. Everyone should want to do that. Don't just jump to aliens. Is it balloons? Is it a bird? Don't dismiss things, right? Keep an open mind. Keep that in context, because what if it is that? What if you spend, you know, you basically place your whole belief that a particular video or photo is alien or whatever when it's not, when it really is just balloon or bird? How stupid are you going to feel? Let's find out first if it is that, and if it's not, okay, but we need more information, the origin, how long they investigate, again, a lot of other details to help us determine. And it might just stay unidentified, and that's okay. That doesn't mean aliens. And again, I don't know about you, but I'm not here to talk about unidentified things, right? I'm here to talk about aliens. Now, could an unidentified thing be an alien, and that's why we need to look at it? Absolutely. But again, there's just so many UAP videos apparently, and on its surface, that sounds exciting. But when you don't know how long they were investigated and what kind of videos they are, how exciting is it really?
We had a recent briefing where we saw, and I say we, it was myself and the team, right? So Anna Polina Luna, Tim Burchett, Andy Ogles, Nancy Mace. We're all in a briefing where we saw, varying videos of objects that are just, that no one has any explanation of. Now, they're all still blurry videos. I mean, that's the frustrating thing, is nothing is definitively, in 4K, that you can actually see it. But what is clear is that these objects are moving at speeds that defy physics. And so regardless of even if you had a close up of it, the real question is how is it able to do what it's doing? And so to me, that's probably the most compelling thing that I have seen that indicates that there's something up there.
Where are these videos coming from? And that's a very broad question, but we've seen some of them. Some of them have made their way out of the news. Like you said, something was submitted to you anonymously. But I imagine the things that you're seeing in these briefings are things that are coming in through official military channels, something that's been recorded by Air Force pilots, things like that. Are there a lot of those videos out there that are not out there? A lot of videos that exist that have not been released, that have not been declassified, that the American public hasn't had a chance to vet?
I would say I know of, I have personally seen a handful, probably a half dozen or more, and know of even more videos. So we are currently in an effort to get access to about 24 videos that, and we're making that request at this point. So the only way in which we were able to know about those is because a whistleblower came forward, Matthew Brown, who was the gentleman that released information about the Immaculate constellation program, and he basically is helping us identify exactly where to go and what files to look for and request.
So that's interesting. Eric Burleson talking about that, but he's also talks about Matthew Brown, right? The guy behind Immaculate Constellation, who whistleblowed, who has not testified yet. In fact, Michael Schellenberger came out about Immaculate Constellation. Jeremy Corbell put in the documents, right? Nancy Mace forgot to mention Jeremy Corbell, and it was a whole hoopla about all of that, right? And Matthew Brown was nowhere to be seen, right? And he didn't show his face till later on, right? And he did a 3-part series with Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp, and just kind of interesting, right? That now he's allegedly helping Eric Burleson. And don't forget, David Grush is working for Eric Burleson as a staffer as well, right? One of the whistleblowers who did testify in July of 2023. But Matthew Brown is yet to testify. People testified about his documents, but he personally did not testify. But he was willing to do a 3-part interview on Weaponized, right? Now, him helping out Burleson, okay, great, right? It just got me thinking. Remember that clip I was telling you to keep in mind that Representative Luna asked George Knapp, hey, don't you have a video to play? Did you notice who's sitting behind George Knapp? Yeah, that's Matthew Brown, the guy behind the Immaculate Constellation. Now, why did he show up to this hearing? Just to show support? Why wouldn't he testify? He's there, right? Very interesting. Or was he the one that dead dropped that video to Burleson? And see what I'm saying? He's helping with these videos. Maybe he's the one that dead dropped it and he wanted to show up and see it get played, right? Like a criminal who returns back to the scene of the crime to see what's going on as a, just a guest, right? They wait at the yellow line and look in, right? They always say that happens. Now, I'm not saying Matthew Brown's a criminal. I'm just saying he wanted to see the video that he dead dropped to Burleson be played. Right? Otherwise, why is he there? Is it just to support? It's very interesting. Right? And he's always wearing that same green shirt, by the way. Just coincidentally. I just found that to be rather interesting that he was there with Corbell behind George Knapp, right? And Burleson asked Corbell for help on this video, right? I don't know. I just think it's just very interesting. And you may be wondering, well, what does it matter if Corbell dead dropped that to Burleson? I think it matters the origin of these videos. Where are these videos coming from, right? And how much information is being given to George Knapp and Jeremy Corbell when they put out these videos? And what's the purpose of it? Do they really show anything anomalous, right? Or are you just putting out blurry photos? I mean, that triangle formation video, I think that's birds, literally birds. So is Jeremy Corbell in on this fiasco, or is he just being used, right? They're giving him bird videos to put out. And it has to hurt his credibility, even if he doesn't want to admit it. Hey, I'm doing my thing. I'm a journalist. I get that. And I have no problem with them doing the work that they do. I support them. I respect them. But it's kind of hurting his credibility. You can tell in the comments. You can read what people are saying about him and George Knapp, right? So I don't know. At what point, if you're giving something anonymously, or your source from inside the government is giving you stuff to put out, just like I've said many times on the show, why don't you tell that person, hey, put it out yourself? Why do I have to put my name behind it, right? Again, that's why I don't have sources or anonymous sources or any of that stuff. I'm not putting out stuff for other people, just so I can get a taste, right? Taste of the secrets. I don't want to be used like an idiot to be put out information that is bunk, that is misinformation, right? Or to confuse, right? So I don't know what's happening. I have no answers, truly, but it's interesting to try to connect these dots. So I hope you had fun in the video. Let me know what you think. Did Corbell, or maybe even Matthew Brown, actually dead drop those videos to Eric Burleson? And again, do you even think that's important? I personally do, but let me know what you think. And do you think all those videos are really just nothing, right? The Hellfire is just a balloon. The triangle formation is just birds. And this new video that's instant accelerating, could it be just the way the platform is, the way things just change in it, right? So it makes it seem like something is actually accelerating. And again, does it really matter if the US military designates something as UAP? What does that really mean? All right, y'all. See you guys in the next one. Remember about us. Every day's a gift, y'all. Peace.
Hey, Patrick. My name's Aaron. I live in DFW. I just finished watching your video about what Eric Weinstein said about the recent release of correlated with the Epstein files. And I kind of just wanted to offer some words of comfort and encouragement to anybody who's seen this whole situation unfold. It feels like we've been kind of on the Titanic watching the iceberg getting closer and closer, and we don't know what that iceberg is, but we definitely see something. And I think from talking to people of different backgrounds, different faiths, I think that we all can see something's coming. And I just wanted to offer some encouragement, to you personally and anybody else who ever hears this, that, we're all seeing the same thing right now. And spiritually, I'm a Christian. I don't want to impose my beliefs onto anyone at all, though I want to be respectful of anybody else. But just to understand and say that in this moment, I think it's the best advice anybody could have is to get their lives in order. And know that you're not alone. Okay? Like, you're not alone right now. Everybody is seeing the same thing, and we're all seeing what's going on. And I want to point out for you that what we're seeing is corruption be exposed on a large scale right now. I think that's where we're at. And everybody, I think, has their own idea of how this is going to play out. But I have faith that it's going to work out. And I think that the best thing we can all do for each other right now is just remember that we're all human and we're all in this together. Take care. Appreciate your work.